This is the Night Owls Disc Golf Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm JP.
Kind of went classic with it.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah. And with being classic, door_disc_golf, night_owl_pod, our two Instagram handles, and then doordisc.com. I'll find all your door disc. Hold on. We find all your disc golf needs.
It sounded like I will find all your.
Yeah.
I'll find all your disc golf needs.
Yeah. So,
you could if you wanted to.
all right, ready for shop update? We spent
right away. Okay.
Yeah, we are bringing in nearly 600 more discs
Wow.
here pretty soon.
Holy cow.
So Innova restock, MVP restock, and then a bit of Discraft because we're finally to a point where we need a little bit of Discraft, some of the new stuff,
Are you
cicadas,
serious?
things
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, some of the new stuff, and then some more displays and stuff for the Green Bay shop.
Cool.
So got a big order coming in, so you'll see that being populated on the website as it comes in. MVP is like 6 to 8 weeks out.
But you guys just got the trail.
Just got the trail. Yep. Just got the trail. And those went pretty well. I think we might have just a few left.
Nice.
But we didn't order a ton of them.
Okay.
And then MVP, like those, so the standard stock run, we went through and that was one of the biggest orders we put this week. And then we will kind of reassess everything, and then we'll probably put in another small trilogy or House of Discs order.
Okay.
And then from there, we're going to try to branch out and hit some of the smaller brands.
Yeah.
Maybe bring in some Thought Space, maybe bring in some. And then Clash, we're going to try to bulk up on Clash a little bit as well. But over the next month, you'll start to see a ton more stuff being populated.
I got a question for you.
What's the question?
When's the last time you guys made a Lone Star order?
I don't think we made one in 23.
Okay.
So I think the last time was in 22 sometime. So,
Jeez.
Yeah, we didn't. I don't think we made. Well, I lie. Maybe we brought in like the blue bonnet.
Yeah,
I think might
because
have
I
been the
definitely got a
last-
blue bonnet.
I think that might have been the last
Dang.
drop we
So
brought
kinda
in.
Cooled off at Door Disc.
It did. And I think we stopped pushing it a little bit too.
Sure.
After the whole fiasco of Ranger and kind of seeing some of the true colors shining through.
Yeah.
You ever watch Trolls?
The movie Trolls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever watch like the very end of the regular first one when Justin Timberlake's character Branch starts singing?
Yeah.
And like they're all gray, and then all of a sudden their color starts coming back.
Right.
Did that make you cry?
No.
It did kind of me. Like it got me. It hit me in the feels.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah. It was fun. So there's a new Trolls movie that came out. I think
yeah.
it's just Netflix, or I don't know if it went on.
It's on Netflix. I think it was on Peacock first because Lulu
okay.
watched it a ton, and I think she saw it in the theater too.
Dude, what a good movie.
It was decent.
I'm not disappointed with it. Yeah, that's like the fifth one, right? Third one.
Third.
I think they did that one. No, fourth. Because they did the first one, and then they did the world tour.
Yeah.
Was that the second one or the third one?
That was the second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm mixing up Smurfs with
There's
Trolls.
there's like a Christmas special or something they did, or a holiday special one.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a TV show. Netflix did like a run on like a TV show.
Yeah, the
or
TV
something.
show wasn't awesome.
No.
It wasn't awesome.
No.
So, dad life.
Yeah.
Dead life. So, yeah. So I'm excited. So we're kind of going through all the setup and all the process of getting everything going. And I'm going down there Tuesday, and we're going to come up with a game plan as far as documenting how all this happens.
Okay.
So we're going to sit down and kind of figure all that stuff out, and then from there, just kind of hit the ground running. So we're hoping by the middle of September we'll be down there full time, 100%. Might do a soft opening before that, like a limited opening, not with all the product down there, but a small amount, and we should have everything there by that point. Or at least most of the stuff there, just enough to keep the shop open. And then once we make the Fish Creek move, we'll just like shut it down. It'll probably be about a 2-day period where we won't be, and then we'll get it all open. But
Crazy.
we're paying for utilities now. So everything's official now.
Okay.
So I think that's all the big updates we got for shop. And then we got some little like fun things that I'm going to show the guys and see if we want to bring in some like patches and stuff like that. And then we'll probably do a little stock on some of that stuff. And then tech discs are in, and we're going to have a tech disc room.
Yeah.
Where you can, did I explain this already? I don't know if I did. I
think
might have
so.
told you for sure, but we'll have
I
a
might
tech.
have said it last episode a little bit.
Yeah. So we're excited about the tech disc room. And then throwing nets, and we're going to have all that fun stuff. When we decided that we're going to have like a test that disc rack.
Yeah.
So we'll have a rack in the tech disc room that will be just used discs or discs that were thrown, and we'll throw them on the rack. And if someone wants to throw them, they can throw them and test out. Like, hey, want to try the new trail? Like, we'll put a new trail out there, and you
Sure.
can throw that trail,
Okay.
or at least get the hand feel for it. Obviously, you're not going to see the fly, but
Yeah, right.
the flight. But yeah, so we're getting there, little by little. So about a month and a half, month
Oh boy.
and a
Yeah.
half, yeah, about a month and a half.
Already August.
Yeah, I know, man. Today was a screamer in the restaurant too. Like, it was unexpectedly busy.
Okay.
Like, good. Like, that's super amazing. But it was one of those days where you look up the clock and it's like 1 o'clock, and you're like, I just got here and it was 7. Like, and now it's 1. Because you were just going. And being that it's like hotter than like Satan's crotchal region.
Yeah.
Route right now.
This was the hottest week we've had.
Crazy.
Yeah. For the summer.
And when you're standing over like 300 and 400 degree flat tops and 350 degree fryers, and it it's hot. And we spent a lot of money putting AC in that kitchen last year. Dude, doesn't even matter right now. It doesn't even matter right now, man. Like, it's crazy. So, but it was a good one though. I mean, I had a lot of fun, and I enjoy cooking quite a bit, but I'm glad I'm to a point where I don't have to do it every day again. We have a good staff, I just have to fill in if someone wants a day off or something like that. So it's pretty nice.
Nice.
All right. Do we want to do the Ledgestone or the movie we went and watched first?
Oh, I don't care.
Was that a stomach or a fart?
No, that was my stomach.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay. You haven't farted on the podcast in a while.
Nope.
Are you brewing one up or what?
Maybe.
All right. Listen closely, folks.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, let's do Deadpool. And
Okay.
we'll end on disc golf.
Sure. Okay.
I like that because this is a disc golf podcast, so we got to end on disc golf.
Okay.
All right, Ledgestone. All right, Ledgestone. So let's just talk about Ledgestone. So the first two things I want to talk about, not the winners. I want to talk about how you feel about. Obviously, there was a major, so they couldn't use Northwoods Black. You reminded me of that just recently, just a couple minutes ago.
Yep.
How do you feel about the FPO only playing Sunset and the MPO only playing Eureka?
I wish
Eureka Temp.
Eureka Temp. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish they'd flip flop. I think Sunset's a little easier for the MPO, so there's a reason that they don't go there.
Yep.
But I think for a challenge for the FPO, you could swing it where they could have 2 rounds at each.
Right.
And they've like at one point, like I know they've definitely set up shorter tee pads and things at Eureka. So I don't understand. Like, if it was a time issue, like fitting rounds, okay, I get it. But
Yeah.
they also have the A tiers, like Ledgestone. It's the biggest tournament.
Yeah. Bar none. Yeah.
So I mean, they have the A tier side going too with all the AMs. So that's really hard to fit in around. But
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand it. It didn't. I would assume. So I'll be candid with the Olympics and the way my week went. Life, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch. I watched clips like flipping
Yeah,
through YouTube or whatever, but nothing full round. I would assume that watching Ledgestone isn't the same without seeing Northwoods Black.
Oh no. Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't. I would assume it doesn't have the same like teeth. So when I played, we played Eureka Permanent, Sunset, and then Northwoods Black. It was 3 rounds. And by far the hardest course was Northwoods Black. Sunset was okay. And then Eureka Permanent was actually a fairly challenging course. And I understand why they don't use it because of filming, because it's a true traditional park style course. But I feel like it could, in a pinch, be used for filming. I mean, for like a little bit of an alternative, especially for the FPO.
Well, there's A pins and B pins like for Eureka Temp, so they like did move them a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
But like you said, not having Northwoods Black makes a big difference because there was not a ton of scoring separation to start. Like, you know, everybody was within a couple, and then like MPO wise, like Gannon kind of took the lead, and then he stretched his lead and then kept it and won by quite a bit. With the FPO, things were close. I mean, until they weren't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's just kind of how it was, I guess, for both sides, you know, like it's interesting. And it was insanely hot down there as well.
Yes.
That's from what I had heard and gathered. Terry Miller had a video on Instagram, all the FPO, well, and I shouldn't say all, but a lot of the FPO players, they made a water, like a slip and slide.
There was a couple guys there. I don't remember. I didn't see who they were.
I didn't see who it was either, but yeah, it looked like a good time.
Yeah. I was like, man, that looks like a lot of fun.
Well, it was funny because like the girls yesterday tried to get out our slip and slide, and for whatever reason, like you plug the hose in, but like the water wasn't shooting out right, so they like go down. I'm like, you guys just aren't getting the water flow. You just get the hose out, put it at the top. Don't worry about plugging it in, and just go down that way.
Yep.
But it looked like they had like, I don't know, like the FPO players, it looked like they were using soap or something. Like it was all sudsy kind of.
Yes.
So I don't know if that made it a little slicker than normal.
Yeah. You've never done that before?
I don't think I have.
So what we used to do is baby oil.
Oh yeah.
We just spread baby oil everywhere.
Okay. Yep.
It's like lawn darts. You know, it ranks in long darts for me, like slip and slides, because our slip and slides, and this is going to date us, our slip and slides were not these fancy things. That they were essentially a trash bag, a really long trash bag, right?
Yeah.
Black trash bag. So I grew up in the Southwest, so like Arizona, California, where ground doesn't have these great fertile, like it's kind of a lot like here where there's a lot of rocks, a lot of. So when we'd set up a slip and slide, we'd always find the one rock that was like right in the center.
Slip and bleed.
Yeah. And it was, you'd put the baby oil on. You'd have the slip and slide. You'd have the like sprinkler that would go back and forth onto the slip and slide. And inevitably someone would like fall and give themselves a concussion. Every other kid had a slit going straight down their belly or their back from the rock that poked through.
Yep.
You know, and someone would end up like twisting their leg, and like there was always someone hurt. Or someone would be too slow to get up at the end, and the other person would be coming right behind him and then sweep the leg. And so I feel that what they were doing at the FPO was really reminiscent of what we used to do as kids. And it kind of brought up back like, man, I should go set up a slip and slide. And we would always set up slip and slides. So we had a fence around the mowed part of the yard at my grandparents' house where I grew up. And we'd always put the end of the slip and slide either right into the fence or right into the shed.
Okay.
I don't know why. It was just like what we did. And we never thought, because ours truly was just like an industrial roll of black plastic.
Yeah.
That we would roll out, that my grandfather had. And so we would just roll it out, cut it, and then we would stick a couple stakes in it, and then we'd go have fun. And it would always end up like flipping over with the wind and stuff too, which was always fun. So anyways, that looked a lot more reminiscent. That looked like they went and got some plastic from Home Depot, just put it down
that's
on
kind of what it looked like,
which is awesome. But way to make lemonade out of lemons, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that situation. They even had some tubes there too.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. I'm guessing a lot of people just might carry them for like out on tour, you know, go to a lake, go to a river, whatever, hang out.
If not, they're like $15 at $10 at that at Walmart, you know. You only get one use out of them anyways, the ones from Walmart. So, Sunset, I don't mind the FPO playing Sunset. I think it's a good course. It matches skills. There is a little bit of teeth to Sunset, but not as much as Northwoods.
No.
And I feel like it made the field a bit softer, scores a bit higher, and they tried to make some stuff a little bit more difficult. But who was the one that was on the heater that was throwing in stuff from everywhere? Ricciardi, wasn't she? No, not Ricciardi. What was her? Who was it that was? I did see the clips of her. She threw like 4 or 5 in from like 40 feet, 50 feet plus. Did you see that?
No, I don't think I did.
I'll remember it as we're talking.
Okay.
But yeah, but good one. And then the thing to point out is that you mentioned Ella Hansen had an ace.
Yeah.
And an eagle.
On
hole 6.
Yep.
Now, the hole she aced is 4. Mm-hmm. So that's the over the water, right? Short dinker over the water. Well, not short dinker, kind of like a hyzer off the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Kind of a hyzer shot. It's a really fun hole. And then 5 is the little dinker over the water. Mm-hmm. And then 6 is that kind of longer one, kind of protected by that scummy pond.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. That's
so. Throwback.
Scummy pond.
It is a scummy pond. Holy, you put a disc in there, it's gone forever. I lost a really nice wraith there. Throwback to, what was it, 2 years ago when Holland Hanley threw in
the albatross.
Yeah. So that's the same hole.
Yep, that's the same hole.
And Holland Hanley also got the eagle this year.
Yep, she did. There. She got an eagle on it, yeah.
So that's awesome. And that is a par 5 for the ladies.
Actually quite a few people got eagles on it.
I want to say it's a pretty soft par 5. Yeah, I know. Well, obviously, if you see quite a few people.
Yeah, I mean,
if you have a 350-foot drive, that's more than doable every time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, there is no OB or landing zone. There's OB on the right-hand side across the cart path, but that's pretty far away. And there's a cart path way deep, like 100 feet deep. Mm-hmm. And that's all I can remember. And then the water, of course.
Yeah.
So, all right. All right. Anything else to mention about Ledgestone other than good job, Burr and Handley?
Yeah. I mean, Gannon's 5th win of the season.
Mm-hmm. And Handley's 2nd.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, great job, Burr. And amazing job, Handley. I love seeing Handley come up. Like, I don't know why. I think we've been on the bandwagon for so long that I just love seeing her start to pop off a bit and take some wins.
And there's some other people up at the top, like Lisa Fakis finished 2nd.
Oh, really?
Yep. Wow. Haley King 3rd, Ella 4th, Owen 5th, Paige 6th. Missy Gannon 7th, tied with Paige. Emily Weatherman in 8th. Stacey Ronsley 9th. And then Elizra. I've heard it both ways. I think it's Elizra. Took 10th. But yeah, Lisa, like, hadn't heard of Lisa out of nowhere.
When was the last time we saw her? Like Memorial, like 2018 or something like that was one of the best ones.
Yeah. I mean, it's really been a while.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. And then MPO was Gannon, Ezra, Robinson, who had like a heater of a round yesterday. Like 12 down. Gannon shot 11 down. And Ezra shot up to make lead card this morning with him and Kyle and Isaac Robinson.
Young guns.
Yeah. And then it was, so it finished Gannon, Ezra, Chris Dickerson, Heimberg, they both tied for 3rd. Kevin Jones.
Ooh.
I got a funny story about Kevin Jones in a second. Not really a funny story, but kind of a cool story. Isaac Robinson 6th.
Okay.
Kyle Klein 6th. Paul Macbeth 8th, tied with Jakob Semmerad, and Jake Hebenheimer finished 10th.
Hebenheimer Schmidt.
Yes. So that is the top 10. Okay, so fun story about KJ. Mike DiMatteo, who is a acquaintance from Madison, he was at down in playing Northwoods Black. Mm-hmm. I think this couple days ago, like Thursday or before the tournament started. Mm-hmm. So weekend before, he was down there, and he ran into Kevin Jones on the course. Kevin Jones ended up losing like a KC Pro Rock. and helped him like tried to find it out on the course, and he lost it. So he ended up giving him his rock from his bag. Mike did, and so Kevin like ended up playing like a couple holes with it, and then later he's like, "Hey, that disc is money," because like how broken it was and beat everything. So we were texting back and forth. I was like, "Dude, it'd be so awesome if you see him, on coverage or something, and you see your disc, flying around." I don't know if Kevin was on coverage at all, but I mean, he shot up for places today. So haven't seen a lot of Kevin, but decent finish for him. Same with Calvin. Calvin, tied for third after not playing so great in Europe.
But even still, Calvin is just like not mediocre. I can't say mediocre because he's still doing pretty darn well.
All right.
But like, he's a bridesmaid. Like, except for in Europe, he was not a bridesmaid.
Right.
He was like the guy that took out the garbage after everybody was done eating at the wedding.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's like, man, he needs to pull off a couple here. He's one of those guys that kind of lives in obscurity presently. If it wasn't for his personality, like, who would talk about him anymore? Like, he's just not really doing much.
I guess, yeah. I mean, he was, after round two, start of round two, he was tied for third, and then he kind of fell off a little bit, fourth, and then finished, tied for third. So, I mean, he was up there all weekend, or, the past 4 days.
Right.
Doing stuff. So, I know, maybe just being back in good old US of A.
Sure. Yeah, good old, the good old USA.
USA, yeah. And same, Paul had a heater of round today, 12 down to make some moves. Shot up 11 spots.
Jeez.
He's cooking at the right time.
Yeah.
So.
What, 2 more tournaments and then Worlds?
Yeah, I think so.
So, good, man. It's good timing for him to start warming up.
It is.
Oh, all right. Well, anything else other than we look forward to next year, and one of these days I'm going to get back down there and play that. I got to get redemption on Eureka permanent.
Yeah.
Stupid course. Dude, so it was one of those courses, you're off by an inch, you're off by a mile.
Okay.
It's like Rolling Ridge,
Yeah.
And I was just off by an inch. Like, everything was coming out so pure. Like, everything was good. You put me out in the center, like, into the open fairways, like, and I was just dead nuts money.
Uh-huh.
And I was just off on absolutely everything. And I remember that being such a defeating round because my putt was what was killing me. Like, it was just like high right, high left. Like, and it was hitting chains and everything was just falling out. And it's the first time I've ever walked away from a round going, like, why am I even here? Like, because I did so well at Sunset. Ended up, like, pretty darn close to the top of the pack. I think it was, like, third card or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
I don't remember how it goes. But I remember being happy at Sunset. Then went to Eureka Temp, or Eureka Permanent, and then just absolute dog baloney. Mm-hmm. And then went to Northwoods Black and like killed it. I was like 4 under or something like that.
Like Northwoods Black?
So well. Yeah. So we play the FPOTs.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. But
right.
I was like 4 or 5 under. I don't remember what I was, but I was well under. And it ended up like salvaging my tournament. But it was just one of those things I was just like how can I do so well on those two? And then like probably the easiest course, which I started out with pole hit up the hill. And then the very next hole skipped off the top of the basket.
Jeez.
And then it just went like completely garbage from there.
Yeah.
It was just horrible.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So I want redemption on those courses. Because you played there. No, you didn't.
No, I signed up and I was going to, and I ended up couldn't get there.
Okay. Well, maybe you and I have to go one day.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Probably really unlikely because it's a horrible time of year up here.
Yeah.
To leave.
Right. It is. Absolutely.
So, all right. All right. Well, let's talk Deadpool now then.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert. If you haven't watched Deadpool yet, it's the time to fast forward. Who knows how long we'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think we'll give anything crazy away, but What'd you think? So you and I actually went and watched a movie together.
And Caden.
And Caden, yes, of course. Yep.
Yeah.
Caden was the no, I was the sticky bun in the sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I was the middle guy. Yeah. So we went and watched it, and it was awesome. It was the very first time I never bought a snack at a movie theater.
Say.
Very first time ever in my
Wow.
life. And then Caden just like, hey, you want something? I was like, yeah, I'd love a Diet Pepsi, or like I want a Coke or a drink, you know? And he's like, you don't want anything? And I go, no, I don't want any candy, but I'd love a drink.
Yeah, right.
And then he buys.
He
buys everything. Did you hear me say that?
I heard you.
Okay,
I heard him ask, like,
okay.
Because I was getting something. He's like, are you getting anything? I was like, yeah. And I was ready to pay, and he ended up paying for my stuff. And then he asked you. Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
And then he's like turns around and like looks at you. It was like, you're like, thanks.
Yeah, I was like, so needless to say, he did not buy the drink for me. I bought the drink. So I was like, come on. No, I was just joking with him. It didn't bother me at all because I didn't expect anybody to pay, but it was just one of those like, I was like, I swear I just said yes, but maybe I didn't, you know, and I was like confused in my own mind. So it was pretty fun. But I am really happy that we went and saw that movie because it was
I am too.
hilarious.
It was funny.
It was really good. So, pretty devout Christian here. Like, love God. There is a lot of Jesus. Like, what do they call that? Blasphemous talk where they talk.
Yeah,
because he calls himself the Marvel Jesus.
Right.
And a lot of people like stick up the butt about that.
I know. I saw quite a few videos about people getting upset about that. But here's the bump my mic. Anyway, so like it's one of those weird things because I don't think he took it to like what people meant with like say he's just meant there. He was like calling himself that because he's like trying to save the MCU.
He's reviving. Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was. It
Yes.
wasn't like anything crazy.
No. I didn't think so either. One of my friends, right before I went, I told him, hey, I'm going. And so he's actually a pastor.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, I'm going. He goes, you got to tell me how it is because there's a lot of people in church that are telling me that it's like the worst movie ever and all they do is bash Jesus. And I'm like, there's not a single.
He didn't bash him.
No, he just said he was the savior of MCU. May as well call me Marvel Jesus.
Right.
Right.
You know what's funny is I saw a commercial today for it, and they put that part specifically in the commercial. He's like, "I'm Marvel Jesus," like it's in the commercial. I was like, "You're gonna piss a lot of." I guess
a ton.
Well,
but that's who Deadpool is. Like,
yes, exactly. Yeah, all these like people in uproar, and then I left after 25 minutes because of. Like,
you know what? It's funny because he goes real strong when he first introduces it, and it's maybe like 7 or 8 minutes of the movie. And then that's it. Like, I mean, he says it every once in a while.
Right, but it's not.
No, it's nothing crazy.
No.
It's nothing crazy. So, because it's I don't know. So for me, and once again, I am very comfortable in saying that I'm a devout Christian. Like, that's who I am. And that's what I believe in. It didn't bug me at all. Like, it didn't bug me at all.
Right.
I mean, pastoral ministries major. Like, that's what my undergraduate was. Like, it didn't bother me at all. There was because nothing in there says that he wanted to be Jesus. He's saying he was Marvel. He's just comparing himself to Jesus.
Yeah.
Like the resurrection, like all that fun stuff. He's not talking about like he is Jesus or he's trying to perform the miracles of Jesus. It's like the parallel, like saying that, I don't know, like you're the next Muhammad Ali or you're the next Mike Tyson or, it's like that type of stuff. Just people get so butthurt about, about things like that. You know? I don't know. So after that out of the way, Gambit, super excited.
Yeah.
Super. I hope he gets his movie that he was supposed to get in 21.
I know. I think it's crazy because of all the talk that there was about a Gambit movie that Channing Tatum ended up showing up in it and like did really well.
It did really well. And it was like, because I don't remember Gambit being, because he kind of plays parallel to Deadpool. in his humor and the way he says stuff. Like
A little bit.
he plays a little bit, and that may be just because it's a Deadpool movie, so he kind of plays into that character a bit.
Right.
But I don't remember Gambit. I thought Gambit was always that, like, I'm trying to remember from my childhood. I always thought Gambit was that, like, sulking anti-hero.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like a Punisher-ish.
A little bit.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was, like, fun-loving and always, like, no, maybe he was. I'm going to have to go back to some of the comics and see
Yeah.
if I even have some of them.
Oh, because I always liked him as a character in X-Men movies. Or not movies, but in comics.
Yeah.
And, like, he wasn't, like... He was a character in the Wolverine movie. Taylor...
Yeah, Taylor...
Kirsch, whatever. The guy from Friday Night Lights.
yeah.
He played him.
It wasn't good,
And it wasn't
though.
great.
No.
Yeah. I think it was X-Men Wolverine Origins. I think that was the one. Yeah. This one was better. It was a better portrayal of him costume-wise.
Yes.
Like card throwing, like his kinetic energy, everything was just better.
And I like how he's like, what do you do? He goes, I take these cards and they go boom.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
like,
simple enough.
Yeah.
The accent.
it
was
wasn't.
I mean, it was all right.
Yeah.
It was a little heavy, but I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But have you ever watched like, what was that crocodile one where they would go and like hunt alligators? Swamp people.
Okay.
Have you ever watched Swamp People?
No.
How, like, there's this one dude, he's kind of like the main guy they followed.
Okay.
His accent may as well be Channing Tatum.
Okay.
Like, it's super thick, and like you're listening to him, you're like, huh. I'll have to ask my buddy that lives down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And ask him if he finds any of that within the Cajun population.
Right.
Like,
I'm
but
sure.
it was thick. Like, but it fit, like it fit well. But you look at Channing Tatum, and then you hear what's coming out of his mouth, and you're like, it doesn't fit.
No. Yeah. Right. I know a little bit.
Yeah. But it was good.
was.
And Blade, like I was super excited to see old Wesley Snipes. Like
He looked old.
he looked old.
He looked really old.
He looked old.
Well, it's crazy too because, well, not crazy. They made like, there's like a joke between Ryan Reynolds and Wesley Snipes about them not liking each other. And like, it was brought up that Wesley Snipes originally didn't like Ryan Reynolds in Blade Trinity.
Oh, when he played Deadpool in Blade Trinity. It was kind of
I mean, he wasn't Deadpool.
it was X-Men that he played that Deadpool, the merc with the mouth that didn't have a mouth.
Yes.
That's right.
And so yeah, I mean, he kind of had like the same joking and mannerisms in Blade Trinity as Deadpool does. But there's like rumors that like they didn't get along and everything. And what he came out and said, like he's like, no, I get along fine with Ryan Reynolds. It's fine. That's why I'm in the movie. Like if I didn't, I wouldn't be in it. You know? That kind of thing.
Yeah, but it was good to see him because they kind of make mention that there might be another Blade.
There's going to be another Blade.
Oh, there is.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't.
Mahershala Ali is going to play Blade in the new Blade.
His son, or like as a man, or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, as Blade.
Layla Ali. I was thinking it was his daughter for some reason, but
You think a little,
they're not even. Yeah, I was thinking of Muhammad Ali's daughter,
Oh, okay.
but I was like, they're probably not even related.
No. I'm trying to think of what Mahershala Ali is in. He was in. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. He's been in a number of projects.
Yeah.
Had you ever see Alita Battle?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's the villain in that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a good pick.
Yeah,
That's a good pick.
I just watched that a little while ago too.
Yeah, I love that movie, man. It's a good movie. Weren't they supposed to come out with another one?
I think they're trying to work on another one.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah,
That was a really cool movie.
yeah, because they got to get up to the.
Yeah, they
Other
got to
city.
get up there.
Yeah.
The cloud or whatever there is.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah. I feel that they knocked it out of the park on all accounts in this movie. And I think some of the character introductions and seeing the new faces of the characters of who they're going to start to kind of come back to life with, I'm excited to see it. So I hope some of these people get their own spinoffs. And or they reboot some of the franchises with the new characters. You know, and I loved how they played. And I thought this was the best portrayal of Wolverine ever.
Oh yeah,
I really truly thought so.
I thought Hugh Jackman in Logan was really good though. Like that's like that's a like top tier comic book movie.
But that's kind of like the old mature. I've lived. I've done my
that's
thing.
old man Logan.
Yeah,
for sure.
But this one is like that. I hate the world. I'm lost, but I'm still not a bad guy. But I'm not really a good guy. Like who Wolverine was. Yeah, just kind of like working through all that turmoil. And he did like awesome. And some of his like superhero poses were were great. They were great. But I did love. So I've always been a fan of Sabretooth. Always. And I thought the Sabretooth, the original Sabretooth, who was the guy that played him? The guy that played
Liev Schreiber.
Yeah, I thought the original, like I thought he was a really good Sabretooth. I don't know who this guy was. I didn't think he was a great Sabretooth, but he was only in for like 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, he was. I'm trying to think of what movie this Sabretooth was from. I can't think of it.
I think it was the original, the one he first shows up in.
Yeah, it could be.
Because they fought on the side of the mountain after he went to like the lab or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
But I thought it was pretty good. Their fight with where Deadpool's like, oh my goodness, we've been waiting for this, and they actually go to fight, and then that was it.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
It was.
And then Johnny Blaze shows up in it as well.
Storm.
Johnny Storm, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, Blaze, yeah. That's his name. My superhero name's Blaze, right? Johnny Blaze.
No, Johnny Blaze is that's Ghost Rider.
Oh, it is Ghost Rider, you're right. Yeah, so Johnny Storm.
Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, it's Johnny Blaze. I think it's Johnny Blaze. Am I screwing you up now?
No, it's Storm, but it's Human Torch.
Oh, Human Torch, that's what it is. From the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Yes. So he shows up, which is pretty cool. There's a whole fun part in there. And then you get to meet like lost kin of Professor X.
Yeah.
Which is fun. You get to see Juggernaut. It's fun.
I was kind of not disappointed with Juggernaut because there's been a couple iterations of Juggernaut. There's the version that was in Deadpool 2, like the bigger full helmet, like you can't see his face. And then this Juggernaut was a version that was in one of the X-Men movies, who was played by Vinnie Jones, you might see him in like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels or Snatch. He played Juggernaut. He's like, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. And
that's the one where he just went running through walls and he couldn't stop himself.
He's going after Kitty Pryde.
Yep.
And so, I thought I would have rather seen him. I don't know who the actor was that played the Juggernaut in this movie. So
he was a big guy, though.
He was a big guy.
He was a big guy. Yeah. And that Juggernaut, the way they portrayed him, is kind of what I remember the Juggernaut being. But I remember the Juggernaut was always kind of like a throwaway villain, I guess, in some of the X-Men. Like, he was there, he would put up a fight, but ultimately he never, like, did anything, if that made any sense. Like, he never... Because I don't remember him ever being on top for a long time. It was always just like, it was really hard to stop.
Yeah, he's kind of an unstoppable brute, like Hulk, a little bit. He has the, like helmet for a reason too, because like he wore it to not be controlled psychically like Magneto, because it happened to him before.
Yep.
Xavier like got into his head.
Yep. Yeah, but it's really like, I don't know. It's all like, I really enjoyed it. If you get a chance, go watch it.
Yeah.
Like, it was really good.
Was the one thing that like I was thrown off, like there's the void, and a lot of the movie takes place in that.
It does.
So
yeah,
that's part of it.
But I think what they're doing is they're setting up that whole multiverse.
Right.
They talk about like, oh, you're the first Logan we've seen through here, or we've seen like, and then they talk about the Deadpools, like they should have all like so many different Deadpools, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
In some you get to reminiscent and like what's the girl's Deadpool? What's her called? What was her name?
Just Lady Deadpool.
Lady Deadpool. Yeah, like just seeing like
there's Nice Pool.
Yeah, that's right. There is Ice Pool.
Yeah,
yeah, and then Dog Pool. And,
yeah.
but yeah, you get to see some of those, and so it's fun. I mean, it just what I think it does is it just opens up like so many different universes that can be played.
Now this is going to be the start of the mutant saga, along with like, if you've seen the Marvels, it sets it up as well for the X-Men actually coming in and how that's going to work out. But
yeah,
I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was probably one of the most enjoyable Marvel movies since like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know the last time I like had fun with a Marvel movie, because like I've kind of gotten away from watching any of the Disney Plus like shows or anything.
Yeah, I don't.
Like I didn't find Falcon and Winter Soldier that exciting. It was decent. She-Hulk, didn't really get into it. Secret Wars, didn't really get into it. They're just kind of oversaturation.
Yeah.
And I think the same thing's happening with Star Wars. Like, a lot of the Disney Plus stuff is just getting to be like, the only thing I've thought was great was Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Now they just had like Disney with Acolyte.
Yeah.
And like they've really messed things up with Star Wars and like the fans with that show. Yeah.
I've seen it and I'm like, ooh, man, that looks like it might be a good one to watch. And I'm just, I haven't yet, but sounds like it shouldn't.
Well, Ahsoka was a good the show that came out before this. That was a good series. Obi-Wan, so.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Obi-Wan.
I thought it was okay.
But it was okay. Yeah, there wasn't anything I was like, oh, but Mandalorian, like, because the Mandalorian seems to be, you can't really mess much up with Mandalorian, because Mandalorian comes in and fights here and there, but you don't really get a good story of the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian Guild, like you get, Boba Fett, you get, the Fett, but you don't get anything else outside of it. And I think with the Mandalorian, it's beautiful because it kind of had a blank slate. Other than fan fiction that was written or other books, like spin-off books, there's so many Star Wars books. Like, it's crazy how many Star Wars books there are.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Other than some of those, like, you got to do what you want to do, and you just tie in the main canon where you want to. And that's how it worked, and that was great. But I don't know. I'd love to see more of that to go through. Is there going to be any more Mandalorian?
Yeah, I'm guessing they're going to make another season.
Yeah, because the way they ended it seems like they have to.
Yeah.
But so, especially with, I think it's going to be pretty neat. So, all right. I don't know if there's much else, unless you want to mention anything.
No, Am Worlds is coming up this week. So that's a lot to look forward to. It's going to be in Michigan, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. It's usually in Waxham, whatever it is. But it's always at Toboggan, near the Discraft headquarters. And it is an absolutely wonderful course. I love that course. There are ticks for days out there. So you got to watch that.
That to look forward to.
Yeah. And don't drink the water. Do you remember that? Remember I caught that thing? Were you part of that? Were you for like a month I was out.
Oh man.
No, I got some sort of bug after I got back, and that was also when I got Lyme, and like, dude, it was garbage. That was one of the worst months.
That sounds terrible.
Oh, it was horrible. Yeah. Yeah, it was 2019.
Dang.
Ugh. That sucked. So, so keep an eye out on that. And there's always some fun stuff because you get to see some of the people that have been kind of holding off going to MPO just for this. And then they'll hold off, do Am Worlds, and then off they go. Or Am Nationals, and then go to Am Worlds, and then off they'll go.
Crazy.
Yep.
No. Okay, so this is just wild to me. I just clicked on PGJ Live, Am Worlds. So they don't have they have players for MA1 and like FA1. There's 117 for FA1. For MA1, it says there's 576 people registered.
Am Worlds?
Yes. That's so ridiculous.
How is that like? Because I know you have your rankings and all that stuff
Right.
now.
And then there's like pool play.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. That's so ridiculous.
Wow.
It's at 1, 2, 3, 4 different courses. So if you have 100 players,
And that's in Michigan. That's like at Toboggan, and then
It's
I think there's
at
like Red Dragon and
Rotary Park East, or no, Earl W. Brewer Park, Fallisburg Park, Johnson Park in Grand. This is all in Grand Rapids.
Oh, okay. So it's not a Toboggan then.
No.
Okay.
Interesting. But yeah, 576 for. I mean, that's got to be some waitlisted players.
I would hope so. I'm assuming because
That's
you have
insane.
to, you get invited
Yeah.
and you get your letter and you have a certain number of days to sign up, if I remember right.
Right.
I can't remember exactly how it goes for M Worlds. And then, yeah, so I'm assuming, yeah, they probably just put your name on, and as the things come up, because usually it's about 200, right? Is that how?
I think so.
Okay. Jeez.
Yeah, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's the only one I never actually went to. Because one year was in Florida. One, it was in Madison the first year that I was able to go, and I wasn't able. And then, geez, I was like 18, I think. I don't know. And then it's always been like Arizona, and then Florida, and then at, what's that place?
You know that place.
Emporia.
Yeah.
The Emporia. And so, yeah, I just never went.
Okay.
And then I stopped playing, really. I mean, competitively. So, although I do want to get back out, I need to get one tournament in this year, just so I can really tank my rating. So,
Yeah,
right.
I'll just play to tank my rating. That's all.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's what most people do. All right, anything fun or exciting to leave us on? Inspirational.
Don't drink the water when you're in Michigan.
Yeah, don't do that, especially if you're around Toboggan. Nope. Don't take life too serious. If you go to watch a movie that's fictional and it's about a guy that pushes people's buttons, don't let him push your buttons. It's a movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Pretty good advice, right?
Yeah.
How about we just take movies for movies and not real life?
Yeah. I think it's hard to separate yourself
Isn't that weird
sometimes. Yeah.
But I think that's so philosophically, I think that's part of some of the issues that we have is that people can't remove themselves from not from reality, if that makes any sense. Like when we talk about like, you know, anime and stuff like that. Huge anime fan. Like I love anime. I don't identify with any of these people. They're anime.
Yeah.
You
right.
know, but
yeah.
we have people in society that identify with, you know, like, and more power to you. That's great, but it's not real.
Yeah.
You know, so don't be offended. Like, it is what it is. Like, just live your life, control what you can control, and then throw discs.
Yep.
I think that's always the best advice.
I think so too.
All right. I feel like that's a bummer to leave on. But it's real, right? It's real.
It is.
We'll
It's
take
real.
that. All right. Remember, DoorDisc.com. Find all your disc golf needs. And there'll be more stuff being published and posted over time. That was really...
It sounded like you were reading off a script. You
I know.
like weren't sure like what word you were supposed to say. You're like, hey, I'm gonna.
Is this my part or your part, JP? All right. Deuces in the toilet. Keep slanging them D's.
Yep.
Bye.